Steven Universe Future. That was my kid's favorite part of that episode. Every time. Peridot at the very end of the opening song. So yeah, Steven Universe Future. I've now seen that, which means I'm done. I have seen all that Steven Universe has to offer. This is a weird one. So, how do I put this? I actually think it executes what it's trying to do quite well. And as far as taking a character who, was light and bubbly and in hindsight wasn't always dealing with his own feelings because he was too busy managing everybody else's, and then projecting forward to a point where there isn't a crisis going on every 5 minutes and he has to actually stop and think, who am I and what am I doing with my life? Because, he can't just divert and go, well, can't think about that because I have to save the galaxy right now. That's a good execution of that idea if you're going to do that. And the way that being a teenager has impacted Steven, I think, makes a lot of sense, both for what he's been through up to this point and for how teenagers can tend to be anyways, where a lot of the feelings that they have feel like the most intense thing that they ever have or ever will experience when, once you're out of your teens, you realize how shallow that take is. But it scans. It makes sense. And it also makes sense that the people around him aren't used to helping him with something like this. He hasn't needed or asked for, or at the very least hasn't asked for. He might have needed, but he has never requested this kind of help before. And he now needs someone to do for him what he was doing for everybody else, but they don't know how to do that because he always did it for them. So it all makes complete sense. And I do think, again, it's a really good execution of that idea. I just don't like it. So this is one of those things where I look at something and go, yeah, I think you did what you were trying for pretty well with this. But what you were trying to do isn't something I really want to see. So just in general, what you can tell me all day long how it's, more realistic and it's, taking things to a deeper level and all this. I don't like seeing the heroes of stories I enjoy fall. Like, I think I really do fundamentally think there's, at a gut emotional level, something different between a character who, gets put through the emotional ringer in the story that they are primarily being used for, and one who, a significant amount of time after the story they were actually designed to occupy, then has a massive emotional breakdown or falls apart or becomes a terrible person. I don't think it's the same thing. I think something about having that happen after the story the character was originally designed to tell is done, then doing it later feels, as a viewer, it feels a little bit cruel. And that's not to say, again, that it's unrealistic. No, it is. And if you're going to seriously examine, Steven and the impacts and PTSD and his management of his own emotions and all the rest of it, no, it all tracks. But I'm just over here going, okay, yeah, but do we need to do that? And that's not for me to say that Rebecca Sugar or any of the other people involved shouldn't have done that. They clearly had the idea and, thought about it enough that they executed it decently, but that's not a story I would personally have any creative drive to tell. And as a viewer, it's not a story I particularly enjoy watching. I mean, it was one of a number of things that just made The Last Jedi a difficult watch. And that's something some people even like about The Last Jedi was the direction they took Luke. That's one of many things that I don't enjoy. And this is not me saying that it was automatically bad or terrible. I'm saying I didn't like it. And it's kind of for the same core fundamental reason. I think the time jump doesn't help. And so to make a comparison to a work that I don't like referencing, but I'm going to because I can't think of another one off the top of my head. If you were to compare to say Harry Potter, in particular the fifth book, Order of the Phoenix, because Stephen in this and sort of the state that he's in, he really did remind me a lot of what my partner Liz and I have come to call caps lock Harry, which is like everything, like anything that anyone says or does, he takes it in the worst way, snaps, like whether he actually shouts at them or not, you hear his thoughts. He's like, oh my God, what is wrong with you, dude? And I didn't like it there either, to be clear. That back when I was, actually a Harry Potter fan, that was my least favorite book in the series, easily. But it did at least land about as well as that's ever going to land for me, partly because we were watching year over year over year over year over year with that character, and he was coming off having literally watched somebody die directly in front of him. And that had just very recently happened. Whereas here, we're jumping 2 years into the future. The character is visibly different. And so it lends itself less to feeling like a natural extension of where the character was and more like we've taken the character who you liked who was this and we have turned him into this. And I don't love that. And that's not even to say that Stephen was unidentifiable, but it was like a sharp enough change that I'm just kind of left going, did we have to? Did we have to do this? I haven't flat out asked my kid, did you like it? Did you not? But I think starting about, I don't know, a third, halfway through, she very frequently was yelling at the TV, Stephen, no! Stephen, stop that! It was, yeah, that was kind of the thing, especially towards the end. It was a whole lot of Stephen, oh, God. And some of it, though, some of it, even by the scale of traumatized teenager unable to handle his own emotions, was I'm sorry, what? Okay, I can buy, I think, that Stephen thought it was a good idea for him to propose to marry Connie. I can even buy that the Gems failed to recognize that was not a good idea because their sense of age and time and everything is different. But the fact that none of the people who found out about that, nobody, and the fact that Connie never said, Stephen, we're 16, and actually she's 15, I think. Nobody said that? Nobody went, dude, for the age we are, no, this is a bad idea. Why would you think this is something we should do? That was weird. That was very weird to me. But again, if you're gonna push Stephen, the pacing of it and the degree to which they pushed him, I was legitimately caught off guard when I realized that he shattered Jasper. That was oh, crap. Which means it landed effectively. But I'm still kind of just do we have to with all this? All that having been said, the very last episode is actually quite good. And I did like that quite a bit because that was the point where everybody is being honest about their feelings and about where they are. And it puts Stephen, here's the thing. I understand the desire to get to that ending because if you're a creator and you did the original run of Steven Universe and you've had linger in the back of your mind, okay, so Steven saved the universe, but is he actually prepared to just deal with the normal real world? Does he even have the ability to do that? And that's been gnawing at you. Getting to this ending where he's ready to go out on his own. He's sad to leave them behind, but he knows that they love him and he loves them. And there's a sense of hopefulness and a stronger sense that he's going to be okay now that he doesn't have to save the galaxy anymore. And that ending works quite well. And I understand the path that they chose to take to get to that. I just didn't enjoy the path that was taken to get to that. But that's Steven Universe Future. Well made, solid, kind of bold even. I don't really like it too much, aside from the very last episode. What can you do? What did you think about this? The impression I have is that it's somewhat divisive among the fandom. But whatever your thoughts are, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Patreon's how I pay the bills. Like, share, subscribe also help me out if you are not able to support me that other way. But don't worry too much about it. We take a relaxed attitude around here, so you can just come on back next time you need a break. It's the end credits. Means I gotta shout out some patrons. This month, it is Turok, Oliver B., Linda Walters, TT, Robin Powell, Frenobulax, The Poodle, Eidolon, Tracy Scrabbit, Dharma, Michael Doyle, Vincent Paul Bartolucci, Angry Casperl, Adam Lefty Taylor, Robin Moore, Shayla Gourlay, and Bookworm. Thanks so much for your support.